We read water as river guides, so we know where to be in rapids or even in a flat stretch of the river. We also have to read the truth of a story to be able to write it. When I was a river guide all over the West for 14 seasons, I kept journals. I've spent the last 20 years putting those observations into stories and essays and books. And I think that reading water and reading nature and people go together hand in hand. I'm Rebecca Lawton. I'm the author of Steelies and Other Endangered Species, a short story collection to be published by Little Curlew Press in 2014. I wanted to not only show endangered animals and things like water, but I wanted to show how characters can be an endangered type as well. Tell the story I knew about how people struggle to save things like water and wilderness, and sometimes fail to even save themselves. This is an excerpt from the title story, Steelies. No one listened when I warned about the water. The valley people, I mean. They always gave me the same empty looks, like nothing I said was new or true. And these mindless nods, no better than bobble-headed dolls. Anyone could follow me and see for himself. Brad was the only one who did, the only one who said he'd be there and then made sure he showed up. He asked to tour the creeks with me as part of his job for Fish and Game. I agreed, thinking he might be able to do something about all the hoses sucking water from the summer pools like straws. When I first met Brad at the Fuller Creek confluence, an alarm went off in me. He was standing on the bank upstream of the cement plant, questioning the homeless men under the MLK Jr. Avenue Bridge. He wore a tan uniform and cap that I later learned covered a shaved head. His warden's badge caught the sun. He looked official, making notes. As I drove up, all I could think was he'd better not run those guys off. They make some of the best fish sightings in the valley from their streamside camp. When I walked within earshot, I heard Jerry, the tall, gray-haired leader, filling Brad in about the flooding earlier in the season. 3 days of solid rains back in April had swollen the creeks into muddy messes. Jerry and crew had been forced to move their furniture up the bank to keep it dry. While doing so, Jerry noticed the backs of steelhead swimming upstream through the high water. Now the creek had fallen again, and the couch was back at streamside, missing 2 of its 3 cushions. Curtis and Stoner, Jerry's 2 regular sidekicks, lay propped on elbows in the dirt just above the high water mark, half covered in sleeping bags. They all called me Fish Lady too, but in a nice way I didn't mind. Brad asked Jerry if he'd ever seen any landowners siphoning the creek. Jerry pointed his thumb at me. Ask RJ. She knows. Brad closed the cover on his metal clipboard and for the first time gave me his full attention. He looked me over head to toe, thinking who knows what, as I squirmed as I did in the presence of an official.